Just in case you're not sure what game you're playing, it tells you twice. Battletech. For the Sega Genesis. Oh yeah, giant robots, machine guns, things that look like flamethrowers. This game has just about everything required to make for an awesome video game. Except one little thing. A second D-pad or analog thumbstick. Something. Anything. 2 joysticks. This game is begging for dual analog thumbsticks because, quite frankly, the controls are clumsy on the Sega Genesis controller because it only has one D-pad. And you're trying to steer this mech around the playing field while also changing direction and shooting at things with just one D-pad. It's a bit awkward, but aside from that, Battletech is quite entertaining.
Enemy mech approaching.
Laying waste to enemy forces in your giant robot with guns is never a bad thing, even with clumsy controls. Although, non-clumsy controls would have been greatly preferred. If you pick the game up, give it some time and you'll sort of figure it out because, especially in that first level when you're fighting a few enemy mechs, you want to fire at them while you're running away, which is a little bit awkward with just one D-pad as you can imagine, but it does a bit of an auto-targeting, auto-lock-on. However, once you begin to rely on that, you realize it's not always that reliable. So a bit of patience is required for jumping into Battletech if you've never played it before.
Enemy mech approaching.
That has got to get the award for the hottest voice on the Sega Genesis. There's a whole Battletech series, and this dates way back into the 1980s, and has nothing to do with Robotech, although they do kind of look similar. An amazing game that many of you have probably played is Mechwarrior. That's in the same family, and is arguably a better game than Battletech.
Danger. Overheating.
Oh yeah, every time I hear that, I'll walk on and off screen just to hear her tell me a mech is approaching.
Enemy mech approaching.
What you do in this game is pilot your mech around a large environment and blow things up to complete objectives.
Enemy mech approaching.
I think there's 5 different worlds or 5 different levels total.
Enemy mech approaching.
Frequently you'll find yourself blowing up buildings and taking on other robots, wiping out ground forces. Sometimes you're being timed. It's not a terribly easy game, but you can save a passcode so that you can pick the game up where you left off after each level, because the levels can take you quite a bit of time to complete. Before you begin each level, you outfit your mech with a select variety of weapons. There's machine guns, laser beams, guided missiles, the PPC. As you're stomping around using the D-pad to guide your mech, you fire using the A, B, and C buttons on your Genesis controller. Each one of them activates a different weapon. Personally, I find it fun to gun down ground troops with the machine gun.
Mission complete. Coolant. Missile.
Check it out, you guys can take my password. I imagine you can find all of them online somewhere, but that would be cheating. You should play through the game, earn that hot Sega Genesis voice. I particularly enjoy it when she says coolant.
Coolant.
Partly because it sounds nice, but more importantly because you need coolant or your giant mech will explode and you'll die, and without ears you can't hear her.
Enemy mech approaching.
You take damage in the form of overheating in this game. When things shoot you, you overheat. When you step on hot things, you overheat. Fortunately, after you complete objectives, you're usually rewarded with coolant.
Danger. Overheating. Coolant. Overheating.
The game has its moments. I like the cheesy cutscenes in particular. The writing is quite amusing. It's one of these games that you'll sit down and play and then blink and realize you've spent 3 hours playing it. It can be addictive when you actually get sucked into it and then want to complete the objectives. If you see it for sale, or if you're into the Battletech or were into the Battletech comic books and stuff, check it out.
Danger. Overheating.
Battletech. You should be able to upgrade her voice. Put reverb on it and stuff, select what she says.
Mission failed.
Flamethrower.